Assalamu alaikum. This is Pratusha Borwa welcoming you all to the English news from Btv-Chattogram. Let's begin with the headlines. Four prominent women received Begum Rokeya Award. Chief Advisor Professor Mohammed Yunus calls for building new Bangladesh imbued with her spirit. Framing charges against Sheikh Hasina in crimes against humanity case of disappearance and torture on December 14. The MP Secretary General calls Akin to integrate victory achieved in a pricing of 24. ACC chairman calls Akin not to elect corrupt and extortionist in next election. And Israel raises its flag on UNRWA headquarters, removing UN one in East Jerusalem following raid. Viewers, those were the headlines, so moving on to the details. Chief Advisor Professor Mohammed Yunus has distributed the Begum Rokeya Award 2025 among four distinguished women in recognition of their contributions to women's education and rights, human rights and women's awakening. The Chief Advisor handed over the awards to the recipients at a gala event at the Osmani Memorial Auditorium this morning. The Ministry of Women and Children Affairs organized the function marking the Begum Rokeya Day. Terming the Begum Rokeya Award as an epoch-making award, the Chief Advisor said those who got the award took the Bangladesh to a new height in the globe, and they are capable not only to lead Bangladesh but also the entire world. He emphasized building the post-uprising new Bangladesh with ensuring the participation of women, especially being imbued with the spirit of Begum Rokeya's struggle to establish the women's rights. The Chief Advisor announced that Bangla name of the Women and Children Affairs Ministry has been changed to Nari o Shishu Mantranalay from Mohila o Shishu Mantranalay.
আজকের এই পুরস্কার মহিলাদের পুরস্কার না, আমাদের সমস্ত জাতির পক্ষ থেকে পুরস্কার। জোরে হাততালি দিয়ে তাদেরকে অভিনন্দন জানাই। সেই মহিষী নারীর আত্মা আজকে শান্তি পাবে। তিনি যে কল্পনা করেছিলেন, তার ইমাজিনেশনে তিনি যেই সমাজ চিন্তা করেছিলেন, আজকে যারা পুরস্কার পেল তারা সেই সমাজ নির্মাণের পাথেও আমাদেরকে দিচ্ছে। দৈনন্দিন পথে রোকেয়ার সঙ্গে থাকুক, তাহলেই সার্থকতা। আর আজকে যারা পুরস্কার পেলেন তারা শুধু বাংলাদেশের নয়, সারা বাংলাদেশকে তারা অন্য এক পর্যায়ে নিয়ে গেছে প্রত্যেকে। এটা আরও একটি পুরস্কার নাম, এটা যুগান্তকারী পুরস্কার, যারা আমাদেরকে দুনিয়ার সামনে অন্য স্তরে নিয়ে গেছে। এরা শুধু বাংলাদেশের মেয়ে না, এরা সারা পৃথিবীর নেতৃত্ব দেওয়ার মেয়ে। আজকের যে নারী সমাজ, গণ অভ্যুত্থান পরবর্তী নারী সমাজ, সেটা ভিন্ন নারী সমাজ, নতুন বাংলাদেশ গড়ার নারী সমাজ। এদের মাধ্যমেই এই নতুন বাংলাদেশের যাত্রা শুরু। তারা শুধু নারীদের নয়, সবাইকে উজ্জীবিত করবে। সেই জন্য তাদেরকে উঁচু করে ধরে রাখা আমাদের জন্য এত দরকার। কাজে সেই উত্তেজনা, সেই চেতনা নিয়ে আমাদের নতুন বাংলাদেশ গড়ে উঠুক। তাদেরকে সামনে রেখে তারা যে পথ আমাদেরকে দেখালো, দুনিয়ার সামনে উঁচিয়ে ধরলো, সেই পথ আমরা দ্রুত যেন নিয়ে যাই। মেয়েরা এসছে, তারা যার জায়গা দখল করবে, নেতৃত্ব দেবে, সেটা অলরেডি গণ অভ্যুত্থানে দেখিয়েছে। আজকে আমাদের সামনে যারা বসে আছে তারা আমাদেরকে বের করে আনবে। বেগম রোকেয়া যে ডাক দিয়েছিল, সেই ডাক 100 বছর পরে হলেও এখানে যেন শোনা যায়। মন্ত্রণালয়ের নাম পরিবর্তন হয়েছে, নারী ও শিশু মন্ত্রণালয়। আমরা স্বাগত জানাই নতুন নামকে।
Women and Children Affairs Advisor Sharmin S. Murshid chaired the event, while Senior Secretary of the Ministry Momtaj Ahmed delivered the welcome address at the function. Dr. Rubhana Rakib and Dr. Nabila Idris spoke on behalf of the awardees. Earlier, a cultural program titled Ami Rokeya was held to highlight the Begum Rokeya's contribution to promoting women's education and combating child marriage. Today is December 9, Begum Rokeya Day, the pioneer of women's awakening. Organized by the Ministry of Women and Children Affairs, Day is being observed across the country today with due respect. Begum Rokeya's ideas on women's rights, education and social development remain equally relevant in state policy making even today. Begum Rokeya Shawkat Hussain was born on December 9, 1880 in Parawand village of Rangpur. Breaking the rigid barriers of a patriarchal society, her struggle to expand women's education was truly revolutionary. In 1911, she founded the Shawkat Memorial Girls' High School in Kolkata, which still stands as a symbol of progress in women's education. Her famous work Sultana's Dream, published in 1905, was included in UNESCO's Memory of the World Register in 2024. The spirit of women's awakening initiated by Begum Rokeya found a clear echo in the July 2024 mass uprising. Hearings on charges of enforced disappearances during Sheikh Hasina held today. A total of 13 individuals, including ousted Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina, Tariq Ahmed Siddique, and 11 army officers have been named accused in the case. The hearing began around 12 p.m. today at International Crimes Tribunal 1, headed by Justice Ghulam Murtuza Mujumdar. Of the 13 accused, 3 army officers are currently in custody. They were produced before the tribunal from the temporary prison at the cantonment this morning. Meanwhile, testimony was recorded at International Crimes Tribunal 2 in the case filed of the killing of Abu Saeed, the first martyr of July uprising in Rangpur. Hasnat Abdullah, chief organizer of the NCP and one of the coordinators of the July uprising, testified for the prosecution. Testimony began in the morning before the 3-member panel led by Justice Nazrul Islam Chaudhry. Hasnat Abdullah appeared as the prosecution's 22nd witness. Besides, defense witnesses were scheduled to testify today in the case against former DMP Commissioner Habibur Rahman and 7 others accused of killing 6 people in Dhaka's Chankarpur during the July uprising. Testimony will be recorded at the Tribunal 1. A total of 29 detained accused in these cases were produced before the tribunal this morning. PNP Secretary General Mirza Fakhrul Islam Alamgir has urged the nation to consolidate the victory achieved through the 2024 movement. He made the call today at a discussion meeting held at the National Press Club in the capital, marking the publication of books written by Professor Dr. Mahbub Ullah and his late wife Salma Uls Alo. Power, Energy and Mineral Resources Advisor Muhammad Fozul Kabir Khan, Daily Amar Desh editor Mahmudur Rahman and other prominent figures of the country also spoke on the occasion. Speakers said that through Professor Mahbub Ullah's publication, the depiction of global politics and the movement and struggles within the country will remain an important document for future generations. Earlier, the covers of Professor Dr. Mahbub Ullah's books were unveiled. Today is International Anti-Corruption Day. Bangladesh is observing the day with various programs as elsewhere in the world. This year's theme of the day is Uniting with Youth Against Corruption, Shaping Tomorrow's Integrity. Anti-Corruption Commission Chairman Dr. Muhammad Abdul Momen inaugurated the day's programs this morning by releasing balloons. A human chain was later organized in front of the ACC headquarters. Marking the day, a discussion was held at the Bangladesh Shilpakala Academy today. ACC Chairman Muhammad Abdul Momen presided over the discussion, while Finance Advisor Dr. Salahuddin Ahmed was present as the chief guest. Dr. A.K. Enamul Haq, Director General of BIDS, was present. Speakers at the discussion said, corruption has penetrated every sector of the society due to long-standing misgovernance. They called for inspiring young people with strong moral values to build a corruption-free future. The ACC chairman urged voters not to elect extortionists or corrupt individuals as public representatives in the upcoming national elections. Meanwhile, the International Anti-Corruption Day 2025 was observed in the city today with the theme Uniting the Youth Against Corruption, Shaping Tomorrow's Integrity. A discussion meeting was held at the Chattogram Shilpakala Academy auditorium with Chattogram Divisional Director of the Anti-Corruption Commission ACC Rizia Khatun in the chair. Chattogram Divisional Commissioner Dr. Mohammad Ziauddin attended the meeting as the chief guest. ACC Deputy Director Shubil Ahmed briefed the meeting on the aims and activities of the ACC, while Vice President of the Chattogram City Unit Corruption Prevention Committee, Mohammad Nurul Alam, delivered the welcome address. A large number of people from different walks of life, including officials from various public and private organizations, joined a human chain held this morning on Imam Ali Road in front of the District Shilpakala Academy. Among others, Chattogram Range DIG of Police Mohammad Hassan Habib Palash, Additional Commissioner of CMP Mohammad Humayun Gobir, Chattogram Civil Surgeon Dr. Jahangir Alum, Additional Police Superintendent Criminal Operations Mohammad Shirajul Islam and ADC Pathan Mohammad Saibuzaman also spoke on the occasion. Now, international news. Israeli authorities raided the compound of UNRWA, the United Nations Agency for Palestinian Refugees in occupied East Jerusalem, on Monday, took down the UN flag and raised Israel's flag. UNRWA head Philippe Lazzarini wrote on X. Lazzarini said Israeli police, accompanied by Jerusalem municipal officials, forcibly entered the UNRWA compound, bringing in trucks and forklifts. All communications were cut. Furniture, information technology equipment, and other property were seized, he added. A spokesman for the Jerusalem municipality told CNN that it was a standard procedure against those who don't pay property tax and ignore repeated reminders. Stephen Dujarric, spokesperson for the UN Secretary General, pushed back on the claim of unpaid taxes during his daily press briefing on Monday. It is not applicable under the general conventions that govern the relationship between the United Nations and member states, he said. UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres condemned the unauthorized entry by Israeli authorities. This compound remains United Nations on premises and is inviolable and immune from any other form of interference, Guterres said in a statement, citing Israel's obligations under the UN Charter and other bodies of international law. Lebanon's national news agency reported late on Monday that Israeli jets targeted Mount Safi, the town of Jabba and Jafta Valley, and the area between Azza and Ramin Arki in several ways. There was no immediate report of casualties. The Israeli military, in a post on X, said it struck several sites linked to Hezbollah, including a special operations training compound used by its elite Radwan force. The military said several buildings and a rocket launching sites were also hit. The attacks comes days after Israel and Lebanon dispatched civilian envoys to a military committee tasked with overseeing the ceasefire, a step towards a month-old demand by the United States, which has been urging the two countries to broaden their talks. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky met with the leaders of France, Germany and the UK in London to show up support for Kyiv as the US pushes its peace proposal to end the war. After talks, Zelensky said the leaders made small progress and reiterated that Kyiv had no legal or moral right to give up land to Russia in any peace deal. The Ukrainian president set off to Belgium for a meeting with EU and NATO officials and will later head to Italy. The president of the EU Commission, Ursula von der Leyen, said support for Ukraine and increasing European defense preparedness were the two priorities of the coalition of the willing, a bloc of states backing Kyiv against Russia. Sudan's Air Force has carried out bombing in which at least 1,700 civilians have died in attacks on residential neighborhoods, markets, schools and camps for displaced people, according to an investigation into raids in the country's civil war. The Sudan Witness Project says it has compiled the largest known dataset of military airstrikes in the conflict, which began in April 2023. Its analysis indicates that the Air Force has used unguided bombs in populated areas. The data focuses on attacks by warplanes which only the Sudanese army forces is capable of operating. Its rival, the paramilitary Rapid Support Forces (RSF), does not have aircraft. It launches drone strikes, but drones were excluded from the research. US President Donald Trump has warned that he may introduce new tariffs on agricultural imports, especially on rice imports from India and fertilizer from Canada, as trade talks with both countries continue without major progress. Trump made the remarks during a meeting at the White House where he unveiled a multi-million-dollar farm relief package for American farmers while sharpening his criticism of agricultural imports from India and other Asian suppliers. The Republican leader claimed imports were challenging domestic producers and reiterated his intent to address the issue by issuing tariffs aggressively to protect American producers.